Good morning, class. Welcome to our lesson on the book, The Seal Mother by Mordecai Gerstein. So, you guys probably know this already, but we are in a unit on what? Anybody got any ideas? On folk tales. That's right. Good job, Andy. We are in a unit on folk tales. Now, as you probably have guessed, The Seal Mother is a folk tale in our unit. So, what do we know about folk tales? We probably should think about that, huh? On your desks, you will notice that you have big old pieces of paper, okay? I want you on your pieces of paper as a group to make this T-chart, okay? You don't have to write down this graphic organizer. I will give this to you later in the lesson. But on this side, under brainstorm list, I want you guys to do exactly that. We are going to brainstorm what we know about folktales, okay? Anything and everything that you know about folktales, I want you to write down on this side of your chart. I'm going to give you 10 minutes, okay? So work together, go real fast, and write down everything you know. Awesome. Good job, you guys. I saw a lot of you guys writing away like crazy. Now we're going to talk about it, okay? So I want somebody to tell me what they wrote down. Jesse, what did you write down? You wrote down that folk tales sometimes have magical creatures? You're right. Sometimes they have magical creatures. What else do folk tales have? They usually have a hero. Yes, good job, Jessica. They usually do have a hero. What else, guys? Anything? All right, here's an idea for you. Sometimes when you're reading a folktale, you'll notice it's a really good story, but maybe it's trying to tell me something, huh? So folktales usually have, anybody know it? A message. That is right. They usually have a message that they're trying to teach us. Okay, so today, as we read The Seal Mother, I want you guys to think about some of these things that you wrote down, okay? Look for them in the story as we read, because what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the key details in our story. So those are what? Yes, those are the supporting facts for our story, okay? There's things in the story that are true that tell us what the message is. Okay, so we're gonna figure out the key details, and using those, we're also gonna figure out the main idea, the message of the story. So let's look at the standard that our lesson is around today, and let's look at the goal that we have. Our standard today is our ELA standard RL22, okay? We want you to be able to recount stories, including fables and, there's that word, folk tales from diverse cultures, and determine their what? Central message. Look at that, guys. Those are our words. Lesson or moral, okay? And let's put that in a little easier terms, huh? Given your key detail cards and a graphic organizer that I'm going to give you, I want you to be able to tell me the Seal Mother story in your groups and to determine the message together. You're going to show me that you can do that by scoring a 3 on a 4-point rubric. Who knows what a rubric is? That's a big word. Anybody? Rubric. Rubric. Anna, what's a rubric? Good job raising your hand. Okay, a rubric is what we use to know if we pass, right? Or if we do a good job on our test. We do what we want to be able to do at the end of the lesson. So let's talk about that real quick. We're going to talk about our rubric, okay? So to get a 4 on this rubric, this is what you need to do. You've got to be able to place your cards in the correct spot on the organizer. You've got to be able to retell the story from start to finish. And you need to be able to say the main idea in your own words, okay? So you're going to show me that you know what the main message of the story is, okay? That's what we're shooting for. All right. Let's go ahead and read our book, okay, guys? All right, everybody go ahead and move to the reading circle, center of the room, okay? All right, be quiet about it. Don't make noise. We're going to go respectfully. Okay. The Seal Mother by Mordecai Gerstein. Okay. On a little island in the North Atlantic, an old man sits by the sea and plays a fiddle in the long twilight of Midsummer's Eve. The seals sing on the rocks in the bay. They sound almost human and seem to sing along with the old man's fiddle. If you should happen to be there and hear this strange wild music, walk up to the old man and wish him a good evening. Then politely ask why he's fiddling there and if the seals are really singing with him. He'll look at you a moment. You'll notice that his eyes are large, dark, and deep. He'll light his pipe, and if he decides he likes you, he'll say, "Sit down, it's a long story." Accept his invitation and sit beside him. This is what he'll tell you. Are you ready, guys? Here we go. It was on a moonlit midsummer's eve like this one, about 100 years ago, that a fisherman out on these waters saw a wondrous thing. As he watched, a seal clambered out of the water onto a tiny rock island. It shook itself dry, and after basking a moment in the moonlight, it began to wriggle out of its skin. Isn't that crazy? The skin fell away like an old robe, and out stepped the most beautiful woman the fisherman had ever seen. He nearly tumbled out of his boat. In that first moment, he fell completely in love. Aw, can everybody say aw? Yeah, that's kind of cool, huh? The seal woman didn't see him. She folded her skin neatly and set it aside. Then she stretched and twirled and began to dance, singing and laughing in the moonlight. The fisherman let his boat drift close. He found the seal skin and he hid it under his nets. Whoa, he took her skin. Then, gathering his courage, he stepped up to the woman and asked her to marry him. She appeared startled. Then she said, "You seem a sincere and handsome man, but I am a seal. My home and people are in the sea, and I prefer to stay there. Thank you." With lowered eyes, the fisherman told the woman that he'd taken her skin. "Give it back," she demanded. "Without it, I can't turn back into a seal." Her deep, dark eyes flashed with anger. "Dear lady, forgive me," cried the fisherman on his knees. "If you marry me, I'll give you back your skin after 7 years. Then you can stay or go as you wish. That is my solemn promise." The woman looked at him unhappily. "If that's true," she said at last, "then I will marry you." As the fisherman rowed them home, he was so happy he thought he might fly. He didn't hear the sad song the woman sang, nor did he see the great gray seal that followed them and sang just as sadly. They were married, and it wasn't long before they had a little boy. They named him Andrew. "He has his mother's eyes," said all the uncles and aunts. No one guessed that Andrew's mother was a seal, not even Andrew. His father had hidden the sealskin carefully in a little cave on the far side of their island. As soon as Andrew was big enough, he went out fishing with his father. The boy loved the sea, and they always had fun together and brought home lots of fish. In the evenings, while his father played the fiddle, Andrew's mother told stories of a world beneath the sea. "For everything on land," she said, "there is a similar thing in the sea. There are birds and cows of the sea. There are mountains and trees and cities of the sea." "Are there people?" the boy asked. "Yes," answered his mother, "they are the seals. They are the animals most like humans, and there's a kind of seal called a selkie. On Midsummer's Eve, the longest night of the year, The Selkies take human form to dance and sing. They love music. How do you know all this? Andrew asked her. Never mind, cried Andrew's father, putting down his fiddle. It's late, and there are fish to catch in the morning. He doesn't seem too happy about that, does he? It was on Midsummer's Eve that Andrew awoke past midnight and heard his parents' voices. The 7 years have passed, said his mother. You must give me my sealskin. Will you stay or will you leave us? Asked his father. I must have my sealskin first, as you promised, replied his mother. When I have it, I will tell you. Then I can't give it to you, said his father. I won't risk you leaving our son without a mother. It was your solemn promise, Andrew's mother said, but his father didn't answer. Andrew heard him putting on his boots and slicker. The door slammed, and then there was only the sound of his mother sobbing. Andrew lay in his bed, wide-eyed and frightened. What did it mean, he wondered. What was the sealskin? Why would his mother ever leave him? Just before dawn, Andrew woke again and heard a beautiful voice singing. It seemed to call to him, Andrew, Andrew! He slipped out of bed and tiptoed past his mother, who was asleep at the table. The song drew him over the fields to the far side of the island. You guys remember what's on the far side of the island? Anybody? That's right, Andrew's mom's sealskin. I think I see where this might be going. There, on a rock beyond the surf, a great gray seal sat singing. Thinking to climb down to the water, Andrew looked over the edge of the cliff. He saw a small cave. He crawled in and found a bundle wrapped in oilcloth and tied with a fishing line. He opened it carefully. Inside there was a velvety gray sealskin, neatly folded. When he held it up, it felt as if his mother were there with him. It's the one they fought about, thought Andrew. He was trembling. Somehow this sealskin could cause his mother to leave him. That must be why his father had hidden it there. Yes, it's hers and she needs it, thought Andrew. He promised it to her. Andrew was frightened and confused. He didn't know what to do. Then he heard the seal once again and realized he understood its song. He jumped up and listened. My daughter's a bonny seal, she was born beneath the sea, but till she has her sealskin back, she will a prisoner be. She's a woman on the land, she's a Selkie in the sea, but without her own true sealskin, she never can be free. With another thought, Andrew took the sealskin and ran all the way home. He woke his mother and put the skin on her lap. My dearest boy, she said, and her eyes filled with tears. Whatever happens now, you must trust me and not be afraid. I promise, said Andrew. She took the skin and ran with Andrew down to the cliff. At the very edge of the cliff, Andrew's mother put on the skin and he saw her become a beautiful gray seal. Then she embraced him and blew into his mouth, filling his lungs with air. Holding him tight, she dove off the cliff and into the sea. She dove deep, and the boy saw rayfish and squid flash by. He saw fish that looked like birds and fish that looked like cows and horses. They left the sun behind, and in the dim waters he saw trees and mountains and crystal cities lit with phosphorus. They swam upward, and the water grew brighter. They burst into the air in a cove of white rock. There were seals everywhere. This is your seal family, said Andrew's mother, for as you now know, I am a Selkie. Yes, said Andrew, and I am part seal. They climbed onto the rocks, and the great gray seal came to meet them. This is my father, said Andrew's mother. He is your seal grandfather. It was he who led me to your skin, said Andrew. The seal embraced them warmly. Then Andrew's seal uncles and aunts and his seal cousins came to meet and embrace them too. "And now," said his mother, with tears in her eyes, "you must go back to your father. He is a good man, and he loves you. You are part human, but I am a seal. I must stay with my people. Whenever you want to visit me, sing out on the cliffs, and one of the family will come for you." "I'll come often," said Andrew. They kissed and parted sadly. Andrew rode home on the back of an uncle. When Andrew told his father what had happened, the poor man sat down and wept. "It's my own fault," he said over and over. "I should never have forced her to stay with me." Andrew visited his mother often as he was growing up. He became a fisherman like his father and always caught plenty of fish. The seal saw to that. He married a lovely young woman, and it wasn't long before they had lots of children. Every Midsummer's Eve, Andrew rowed his family out to a tiny rock island in the sea. The seals met them there, and they danced and laughed and sang together all night long. At the end of his story, the old man will pause, look at you with his deep, dark eyes, and he'll wink. "And I am one of that family," he'll continue, "and tonight is Midsummer's Eve." The old man will stand and wave to people who are coming down the beach to meet him. They'll be singing and laughing and carrying boats and oars, fiddles, whistles, and drums. The seals will sing and dive around the rocks. And if the old man should say to you, as he pushes his boat onto the surf, "Would you care to join us?" take my advice and say yes. Okay, that was a really cool story, wasn't it, guys? How many of you guys like that story? You did? Awesome. Well, good. I like it too. Now, when we read a book, we always want to look for the things in the book that make it exciting, that make it fun to read. And those things should point us to the story as well. Okay? So I want you guys to look back through with me. As we go through the book, we're going to talk about what happened. I want you guys to tell me in your words what happened in the book, okay? So let's go ahead and have that conversation. Let's talk about some of these key details that took place in the book. We're just going to use this side of our list just for now, just as we talk. Okay, what was the first thing that happened in the story? Can anybody tell me? Well, yes, we did meet the old man, but when he really got going into his story, what was the first thing that happened? Okay, there was a fisherman on a boat, right? Okay, what did he do? Okay, he saw a seal. And she became a woman, right? Yeah, what were those called again? A selkie, that's right. Okay. Did she go with him on her own, or did he make her go? He made her go with him, didn't he? Yeah, he forced her, because why? Why did she have to go with him? Does anybody remember? Yep. He took her skin, her seal skin. Then what happened? Anybody? Okay, they had a little boy named Andrew. That's right. Good job. Now, after 7 years, what did his mom want back? Do you guys remember? Her skin, right? Her seal skin, her seal coat. She wanted her coat back. And did the dad want to give it to her? No, he didn't, did he? Isn't that crazy? Well, he didn't want to let her go, but I don't think it's very nice if somebody needs something back that's theirs for you to keep it. That's not a very nice thing to do, is it? No. Do you guys think that was a right thing to do? I don't think so either. So then, because of that, Andrew heard what? A seal singing? Yep. And he went to go get his mom's skin. What happened after that? Do you guys remember? Did he keep it for himself like his dad? No, he gave it back, didn't he? Wow, that's really cool. I think that's awesome that he did that. It was very nice of him to do that. And then he and his mom got to go explore the sea, just like the stories, right, that his mom told him. And he met all the rest of his seal family. So when he came back and he told his mom, or he told his dad what happened, that he let his mom go, how did his dad react? Does anybody remember? Because that's important. Yeah, he was very sad, wasn't he? His dad was really sad because he made her stay when she wasn't supposed to, huh? Okay. But the story doesn't stop there, does it? No, it did have a happy ending. So his dad was really sad that his wife had to leave, but Andrew still got to visit his mom all the time, didn't he? Yeah, he got to go talk with her and his seal family. He grew up and he got married and became a fisherman like his dad. And he got to go see his mom all the time. And she was free. And then finally, what happened at the end of the story, guys? After Andrew's all grown up, after he let his mom go, and after the dad's promise was fulfilled by Andrew, and he got to see his mom, what happened? Yeah, that's right. Their family continued to go meet together, and they got to be with their human family and their seal family, huh? So it turns out it's a happy story in the end. So let's look at these details. What are the big things that show us what the main idea could be? So we know we talk about Selkies, right? Selkies. Now they can't be on land for a really long time, can they? Because they have to go back to being a seal with their skin, right? So when Andrew's dad took her skin, he took her freedom, didn't he? Yeah, he took her choice away. So when he took her skin, that's a big thing. That's what started the whole story, isn't it? Okay. What about Andrew? Where does Andrew come into the story? What happens that, makes him really important in the story? He finds his mom's skin, huh? Yep, when his dad didn't want to give that skin back, Andrew found it. So Andrew getting his mom's skin, that's a big idea, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay. And then what? He gave it back to her. That's the big thing in the story. He gave his mom her skin back, which is what his dad promised, but didn't do. And then finally, what happened at the end? Their family was all able to still be together. Okay. All right, you guys. So, at this point, I want to remind you about our rubric, okay? Let's take another look at that. Right here, I want you to try to either get a 3 or a 4. What do you have to do that? You have to place your detail cards in the right spot when I give them to you. You have to retell the story as accurately as you can, okay? Just like we did together. We just went through it. We went through what happened in the beginning, what happened after that, what was the next big thing, and finally what happened in the end, okay? We talked about some of those details. And then I want you guys to, using the details that we give you, there'll be some details on those cards. And they'll be in different words, but they'll be the ones that we talked about. I want you to retell the story, and then I want you to use those details to tell me what you think the main message of this folktale is. Because remember, folktales have messages, don't they? Yes, they are trying to teach us something. Good job. Okay. So I want you guys to go ahead and break in your groups. This is the graphic organizer that I'll hand out to you, okay? Remember, first, detail 1, then detail 2, then detail 3, and finally detail 4, okay? So the first thing that happens in the story, the next big thing, that spot right after the middle of the story, that's usually where the big climax of the story is, and finally the end, the resolution of the story, okay? From start to finish, using your cards, I want you to retell the story to me. I'm gonna go around your groups. I'll be there to help you as much as you need, okay? Ask your questions. And then at the end, I'm gonna come around. I want you to tell me the story with your detail cards. And then I want you to write just on the side here in your own words what your main idea is, okay? Alrighty guys, thank you so much for listening. Go ahead and break into your groups right now and get started, okay? All right, I'll come around to help you. Thanks, guys.